Abduction and protraction, the scapula moves away from the spinal column, like someone is reaching for an object. In the adduction or retraction, the scapula moves toward the spinal column, like when you're pinching your back together. The first muscle we're going to talk about is the deltoid, and its origin is lateral third of the clavicle. This will be right here. And it's on the inferior edge of the spine and scapula, so in the back there. The insertion of the deltoid tuberosity is on the lateral humerus, which will be more this way. The teres major, the origin is on the inferior third of the scapula, be about right here on the back, and the insertion is on the medial lip of the humerus posterior, which will be on your arm. The latimus dorsi, the origin is on the crest of the ilium, and it's on the lower vertebrae T6, T12, down the lower three ribs. The insertion is on the medial lip of the humerus. Pectoralis major is on the medium half of the clavicle and goes down the first 6 ribs in the origin, and in the insertion it is on the lateral lip of the humerus. The coracobrachius, the origin is on the coracoid process of the scapula, and the insertion is on the lateral lip of the humerus. The suprapinnatus origin is on the medial 2/3 of the supraanus fossa. And the interior, it is on the greater tubercle of the humerus. The infraspinatus, the origin is on the posterior surface of the scapula. It's be below my hand. The insertion is on the greater tubercle of the humerus on the posterior side. The teres minor is on the upper and middle aspect of the lateral border. This will be the end. And the insertion is on the greater tubercle of the humerus on the posterior side. The subscapularis is on the origin, it's on the entire anterior surface of the subscapular fossa. And for the insertion, it's going to be on the lesser tubercle of the humerus. The supinator, its origin is on the lateral of the humerus and on the posterior part of the ulna. And its insertion is on the lateral surface of the proximal radius, just below the head. The triceps brachii has 3 origins. First starts right here, the second right here, and the third right here. And its insertion is on the acromion process of the ulna. The anchionus origin is on the posterior surface of the lateral condyle of the humerus, and its insertion is on the posterior surface of the upper ulna and the acromion. The biceps brachii long head is in the supraglenoid tubercle, and the short head is in the coracoid process in the origin. And then the insertion is on the radial tuberosity. The brachiochoroidealis origin is at the lateral supracondylar ridge of the humerus. And the insertion is on the distal end of the radius and styloid process. So, no. The brachialis origin is on the distal half of the anterior shaft of the humerus. And the insertion is on the coronoid process of the ulnus. The pronator teres is the distal part of the humerus and the medial side of the proximal ulna. There. And in the insertion, it's the middle 1/3 of the lateral surface of the radius. The pronator quadratus, the origin is 1/4 of the anterior side of the ulna. And in the insertion, it's the distal 1/4 of the anterior side of the radius.